Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give it a few more seconds to see if there's any people that log in sort of last minute. Appreciate your patience. Appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
I hope you're staying safe during this time. I know we've tried to do a really good job during COVID. Yes, exactly. Distance ourselves, but also launch several YouTube videos on our Rhino Tool House YouTube site. So please feel free to check those out. I think we have well over 30 YouTube videos that we've decided to produce during the COVID shutdowns on multitudes of different product lines and some other exoskeleton technology that's out there that we represent. And obviously here today talking about the Ironhand.
Yep. And don't forget to check out our Material Handling Monday on LinkedIn, as well as Pump Day on Wednesdays, which is today. So today's normally Pump Day, but we're supplementing with the Ironhand as well. So, okay. Thank you, Brad. My assistant off screen is flagging me. I appreciate that. I think we might as well get started, right? My name is Joachim Grabo. I'm a sales engineer for Rhino Tool House. I'm based out of the upstate of South Carolina. My colleague?
My name is Justin Walsh. I'm the sales engineer based in the Low Country in the Midlands for South Carolina.
So I appreciate everybody taking the time today to join us at Rhino Tool House. For those of you who don't know who Rhino Tool House is, we're a specialized industrial distributor, and our mission is to identify and deliver the latest innovation in industrial technology. We do this in order to empower our customers to be more productive, build a better quality product, and maintain a safe and work environment for their workers. We provide superior local support, local expertise, and a high degree of responsiveness to ensure that our customers can accelerate their performance. So this is sort of why we're here today, to be able to show you some of this technology in a virtual setting, as obviously visits are a little bit at a minimum these days in most facilities and kept to those that are essential. Our focus product today, what we're talking about, is the Ironhand, as Justin's holding out, from a company called Bioservo out of Stockholm, Sweden. So a little bit of background on Bioservo. They've been around for a number of years, I think founded originally in '06, if I remember correctly, and their original focus was to develop a soft exoskeletal glove to help those struggling to recover from repetitive strain injuries or musculoskeletal issues in their hands, people with carpal tunnel, things like this, or those in the aging population, to be able to go about their day-to-day tasks at home. In the last several years, and launched officially beginning of last year, was Ironhand, the now industrialized version of this product, and what we're going to talk about today. So this glove offers greater responsiveness than the original developed technology, allows for support for all 5 fingers on one or both hands, and greater grip force as well. So the
couple admin notes. Joachim's going to dive into some components here. Just an admin note for everyone else. We are going to have a Q&A session at the very end of this, so please feel free to put a question in the chat blog. And at the very end of this, Steve and Brad will be able to ask us some questions, and Joachim and I will answer them for you. So thank you.
Good call, Justin. Thank you for that. I appreciate the note. So the intent, digging right into it, the intent of the Ironhand product is to support grip-intensive tasks in a manufacturing setting, whether that be repetitive lifting or continuous holding of be it a power tool or anything else throughout a manufacturing process. As much as I'd like to say it's intended to make you Superman or Iron Man, that's not necessarily the case. It's intended to allow the user to be able to return home from work and not feel as worn out, or worse yet, be the victim of some sort of repetitive strain injury due to overstressing their hand, and in fact, potentially in turn their arm or upper shoulders as well, because of the tension that's generated by repetitive tasks throughout the day. You see my model, Justin, today is wearing the Ironhand in one particular version, which is with the hip carry power pack. So to generate this force, we have to start with obviously some sort of power pack, and what you see in the back of Justin here right now. He's also wearing the optional suspenders just to help alleviate some of that weight off the hip itself. Not 100% necessary, but optional. Another variant would be to wear sort of a backpack and put this the power pack in the back as an alternative. It's just really a user preference. Or if you had the need to have Ironhand on both the right and the left hand, the backpack and the hip carry would allow you to do that. So beyond that, from that power pack, we have a glove, which is available in 4 sizes, small to extra large, left and right hand, which is then attached to the power pack. And we can in fact see here actually the 5 actuators or actuator interfaces that would attach to that power pack and pull individually and respond depending on how we configure the device. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. You'll also notice that we have some arm straps here so that the tether that attaches to the power pack, that's what connects it to the glove. So today we're not wearing an external or your typical worker glove that you'd see in a manufacturing facility, but that's always recommended. So the normal glove, let's say if you were a medium-sized glove, you might want to upsize to a medium large or large glove just because you obviously have something else on your hand. But the intent is that you always wear your normal glove on top of the iron hand. And as you can see, Justin, if you want to get a little closer, it's not excessively bulky, right? The nylon features on the glove are very sort of skin tight, if you will. And you may even be able to see some evidence of the artificial tendons, nylon tendons, and sensors in the fingertips of all 5 fingers. So the intent is that based on the amount of force exerted by the person who's using the glove will exert a proportional response, additional response, as you can see, and maybe even here, to allow you to amplify the grip force and relieve some of the stress of the repetitive task. So we also have our remote, which we'll pull off. If you want to pull that off, just to show. There we go. So on this remote control, we have a few features. One, showing how much battery life is in the unit. Typically, a battery will last about a shift, 6 to 8 hours. We haven't heard of any instance where the glove won't last for a full shift. We also have a plus minus, which gives you the ability to adjust on the fly the user, the relative amount of force compensation, if you will, and how much additional force the glove exerts. We also have what I call the Bioservo button at the bottom, which allows us to pivot between 2 profiles. Justin will talk about that in a little bit more as well. So also here a confirmation of the connectivity to the Wi-Fi, via Wi-Fi to the Android app that I'm going to go over in a moment as well. What we see here also is the orange e-stop. So this has been a question from some of our customers in the past that, let's say, how do I bail out, right? Let's say something goes wrong and I don't want to use it anymore. Well, you can simply just pull on this and all of a sudden now the glove shuts down completely. Power is cut off. To recover, just push it back on and we get back going by pushing the power button again. So Justin, you want to touch a little bit on a couple different profiles and go from there?
Absolutely, we'll do.
Yeah.
So as Joachim said, there's multiple different profiles that you can put in, and a profile is a configuration of the settings of the glove. So Joachim's going to use his Android tablet, and he's actually going to connect to this device, and he's going to show a couple things. How I simply connect is I press the power button twice. My Wi-Fi setting actually blinks, and then Joachim can actually connect to the device. So the glove comes standard with 2 profiles, what we call is a standard feature, which each sensor in the glove works independently of itself. If I actually press on the second profile, it's a pistol grip format. So if I'm grabbing a pistol grip tool, such as this DeSuter BLRT low reaction battery powered transducerized tool up to 25 Newton meters, this particular function or profile that I have set up for the pistol grip allows that when I press a sensor on my pinky, my thumb and my ring finger are then engaged and have more of a locking tendency into it. And Joachim will talk about that. What that allows is my index finger or my middle finger to be free, and most of my grip is used on the 3 other fingers that I talked about. You can also use it for S-stick tools, the battery powered for S-stick tools and other features. We'll get in a little bit of the configuration with Joachim.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. So what I'm showing on here actually is I've got just a little Android app. I'm going to go to the line we marked on the floor for optimal viewing, or so I'm told. And basically what we see is essentially sort of a virtual hand, right? You've got a thumb, the 4 fingers here, and we see relative forces displayed on each of the fingers. So that allows us the opportunity to be able to adjust how much force or how much, let's say, compensation I'm going to get from each finger individually. I also have the ability to adjust the overall sensitivity, which means essentially how much more of a proportional response or additional force do I receive from each finger or from the glove overall as I go to execute a grip. I also have the ability to adjust something called threshold. The threshold is the force I have to exert onto the glove or to the sensors in order for action to take place. So if I have a small task, excuse me, you can't see me, but that's okay. If I have a task where I'm writing or something that doesn't require as much force and I don't want the glove to kick in, then I can turn this threshold up a little bit so I can perform that sort of smaller task. And then when I need the glove to actually kick in and do some work, it'll do its thing. We also have the ability, as Justin mentioned, to adjust what's called the locking tendency. So in the case of gripping a pistol grip tool or any kind of sustained grip that you want to have hold, the glove will actually have well, just as it said, a locking tendency so that you can relax your fingers a little bit once you've executed the initial grip, and you have to sort of let go a little bit more so to release the grip. Now, don't take that the wrong way. That doesn't mean you're clasped on and locked on forever. These values are very, let's say, minute and finite in their adjustment. So you have a lot of flexibility. And the intent of all of this, as well as the ability to set the locking for each fingers individually, is to customize the experience for every user. So I feel like Ironhand and Bioservo has come up with sort of all the factors that go into executing a grip to make it as comfortable as possible. So that's sort of a summary there. I'll show a little bit here as well. If I go back, I'm going to discard the change. This is the interface to manage multiple profiles as well. So I can have a primary and secondary set, and I can also have a database of profiles set up. So if I've got multiple iron hands within a facility, and I know that certain ones work very well for certain users in certain areas, I can deploy whatever configuration that fits best for the application. So now I think we want to get into maybe sort of what are some of the applications? So where else can this be used? Justin called out the pistol grip low reaction cordless tool, but we have a few examples of some other worn out tools from our demo fleet here. One example being a palm sander. If you want to execute that grip and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so not necessarily that the palm doesn't activate it, but when you go out and grab around it with your fingers, it activates my grip and allows me to have a much better hold on the palm sander. So if you're doing a car body in white, or if you're doing an airplane body overhead, this allows me to hold on to it, use obviously a lot less endurance for my own grip strength, allows my hand to be able to relax a little bit, and my operator just basically be able to move his shoulder and his hand and his elbow to get that good solid motion.
Yes, something to keep in mind about grip force, and you can try it yourself even at home or where you're sitting viewing this. If you clench your fist, notice how not only your fist tenses up, but your forearm, your bicep, even all the way up into your shoulder and some of the trapezius muscles up top, they can get tense and develop strain over time if you're having some excessive work over a long period of time, or even light duty work for too long. So yeah. Similar to that, we have a right angle die grinder and a pistol grip drill here, just as an example. There's obviously lots of different processes of manufacturing out there to highlight.
So different ways to hold different kinds of tools. One of the things that Joachim talked about is, I'm going to hold this pistol grip tool, I'm going to hold that sander, polisher different than someone else will as well. And that's why the Ironhand is so nice, is that I can customize with the configuration software the way that I grip versus the way that Joachim grips that specific tool. Another thing, we've had some user success story on just handling different products, picking it out of dunnage, being able to rotate maybe a quality inspection with products. We got a little aluminum cylinder here as well. We'll be able to pick it up, be able to push it somewhere else, or place it, maybe do a quality inspection, put it back into a CNC machine as well. So those have been some success stories that we've had.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of applications where the part is small, but still has a good amount of mass, and there's only really one way to pick it up with one hand, especially pulling out of a returnable dunnage or something like that that's being supplied from a sub-supplier. So, yep.
Pinching as well. We've deactivated the index finger the ring finger and the middle finger, and we only activate I did say my index finger before, but we only activate the index finger and our thumb, so we get a lot of pinching force out of it. So a lot of repetitive pinches with some plastics we've seen before.
Or electrical connections.
Yeah. Or electrical connections. We've had some success with that too.
Yep, absolutely. The nice thing about the app, I don't know if I mentioned it, that previously, as is typical with any kind of app interfacing, be it with an industrial device or any of the technology you might have at home, Android was the first version, or the app was available on Android first, but actually just a couple days ago launched the iOS version as well. So if you have an iPhone, then you can download the app, and that communicates seamlessly with the Ironhand, the Iron Connect app from Bioservo. So the user, should you choose to have the user in the plant be in control of their own forces after some basic training that we can provide, anybody can really configure it. There's no special software, well, there is a special software, but it's available in the App Store on either Android or iOS. So, and all of us here at Rhino Tool House, we've got 70 sales engineers and application engineers, project managers throughout the majority of the United States that are here to support. As I mentioned, I'm based in upstate South Carolina, but we've got multiple offices covering about 75% of US manufacturing as of right now. And we're happy to come out and evaluate your applications. If that's difficult or tricky to do with obviously the current times, please encourage you to always send us maybe a video of an application or some pictures, an email, suggesting what it is you're doing, and we can sort of determine if there's a good use case for those applications and take some next steps from there. So, yeah. Is there anything else missing? I'm trying to think.
I would say the one thing is that we're very well supported by the Sweden-based headquarters, and we have Veronica on the phone here today as well with us from Bioservo.
We do.
And they have a intensive program for us as a distributor to follow through training, and we love that about them being a manufacturer and us being one of their major supporters here and distributors in the U.S. So we're very, very honored for that.
Yep. Sort of exciting times. I think I don't know if we want to open it up for a few questions. If there's anything else, I think that's the crux of it, if you will. I'm sure there's some other things that we can explain based on your feedback as well.
Yeah, and do take in consideration we have five major regions. So each 6 major regions in our territory of 30 plus states now, and each one of the territories has our own demo kit per se, which is Joachim and I's demo kit for the coastal region, which is the Carolinas and the Virginias. So please feel it is either on demo or it's available, and we can get in your facility very quickly.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Perfect. We do have a couple here. How do you keep this unit clean, and how do you ensure safety for multiple users during COVID?
So typically what we recommend is that each individual user would have their own Ironhand glove. So this portion of it would be their own. And to clean that, the Ironhand kit is supplied with a wash bag. So believe it or not, even this portion of it, even with that integrated circuit, can be put in a wash bag and washed on a gentle cycle, and then air dried or in an air dryer cabinet. That's the typical washing method. So be sanitized in that way. Yep.
Kind of a two-part question here. How much are replacement gloves, and what is the typical lifespan of a glove?
So the replacement gloves are $695, I believe. It's somewhere in that ballpark. We've had some instances actually where clients are even leasing units and leasing gloves for a certain period of time. So there's some of those options out there too. And as far as the lifespan, expected to be somewhere 4, 6, 8 months. Something like this is what we expect. In some cases, it's been longer than that. But obviously, it depends a little bit on how it's taken care of. If you take care of the glove, it'll take care of you. So,
yep. And that's one glove. One glove comes just like this.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit more about the warranty for the unit?
So the warranty on the gloves is 60 days, and for the unit itself, 1 year. So
power pack and everything.
And soft goods as well would fall within that 60, again, within obviously a reasonable wear and tear. So not including any overdue abuse.
Perfect. How long does the battery last, and how long does it take to charge?
So it takes, we expect it to last a shift. Again, like I think I mentioned before, we expect it to last 6 to 8 hour shift. There hasn't been any instance of a shift that we weren't able to last all the way through. And as far as recharging, that's a 4-hour recharge cycle. Now, if there was an instance where you had rolling shift changes or something like this, and you need to replace a battery quickly, there's a replaceable battery pack. This is actually the battery pack as well. So with each Ironhand startup kit, you do get 2 batteries, and it's just a matter of opening a little port on the power pack on the back, popping the old one in, sliding a new one in, and you're off and running again. So similar to, you know, a cordless tool, just like this.
Perfect. Do you typically offer training and support?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of the reasons, one of the reasons we exist, to provide local expertise and to be able to follow up and ensure that the successful implementation of solutions, all the solutions, including Ironhand, of course. So we're strategically located throughout, again, the majority of the United States. So there's a Rhino Tool House sales engineer, an application engineer, and project team as well, all within close proximity, regardless of where you may be as a manufacturer.
Well, I think that is it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Steve, can you unmute, or I don't know if Veronica is on, if she's got any other comments she wants to add to the conversation as well, or she can dictate and we can act if there's nothing else.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Veronica.
Hi. So good to hear you. No, I don't have any like typical comments. The only thing I was thinking about was regarding the hygiene and the glove. There is more than hygiene aspects to why one glove, one person. And that is that all the profiles and the settings for that specific users is stored in that glove. So that means you just pop on your glove to the power pack. You can share the power pack between all the people in the shift, but the glove stores all your personal settings and the profiles.
So you can see here the connector and a PCB that actually has that memory. Thank you, Veronica, for bringing that up. Again, another reason why the single glove for each user makes most sense. Yep. Cool.
Otherwise, I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
And we're happy to as you said, Justin, we have a close communication and we help each other, and we're happy to support you whenever you need. So if you have, if you customers that hear me now, that if you have any specific questions or various specific work tasks or workstations, and we don't, if the Rhino Tool House don't have any experience of that, we have a meeting together. We can talk about it. So we're just happy to support you, whatever.
Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate the comments. Good stuff. I appreciate you joining as well in the evening overseas. Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else, Steve, from your side in terms of questions for now, we'll call it a wrap. And any closing comments from you, Justin?
Yep, this in about a week or so, this is going to be live on YouTube. So just make sure to go to our YouTube channel, Rhino Tool House, or rhinotoolhouse.com, our new website that we've launched, and have your own personal viewing pleasure for you there. See some of our latest products and trends that we have going on.
Good stuff.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you all very much. Have a great
Thanks.
day.
Everyone.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.